Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where stories and other random things take center stage. Welcome to today's video, and today I'll be reviewing Aurora Burning. This is the second book in the Aurora cycle. If you have not seen the first review, I'll link it below. It is relatively spoiler free. Actually, I didn't spoil anything. I don't remember if I spoiled anything. At least nothing major. I didn't spoil anything major, so you should be just fine. This review, unless I say otherwise in the video, it should be spoiler free as well. But yeah, here we go. Our heroes are back, kind of. From the best-selling co-authors of the Illuminate Files comes the second book in the epic series about a squad of misfits, losers, and discipline cases who just might be the galaxy's best hope for survival. First, the bad news. An ancient evil, your standard consume all life in the galaxy deal, is about to be unleashed. The good news? Squad 312 is standing by to save the day. They've just got to take care of a few small distractions first. Like the clan of Gremps, who'd like to rearrange their favorite faces, and the cadre of illegit GIA agents with creepy flowers where their eyes used to be, who will stop at nothing to get their hands on Ori. Then there's Cal's long-lost sister, who's not exactly happy to see her baby brother and has a Zildrathi army at her back. With half the known galaxy on their tails, Squad 312 has never felt so wanted. When they learn the Hatfield has been found, it's time to come out of hiding. 2 centuries ago, the colony ship vanished, leaving Ori as its sole survivor. Now, its black box might be what saves them. But time is short, and if Ori can't learn to master her powers as a trigger, the squad and all their admirers are going to be deader than the great Ultrasaur of Abraxas 5? I think it's 5. Abraxas 5. Shocking revelations, bank heists, mysterious gifts, inappropriately tight bodysuits, and an epic firefight will determine the fate of the Aurora Legion's most unforgettable heroes, and maybe the rest of the galaxy as well. Again, I love misfits and loser stories. They just make me feel validated. It's a weird, stupid reason, but it works. You know what? We have to kind of deal with what we like, okay? We have reasons for what we like. Again, great book. Definitely enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun reading this. I think it was interesting. Honestly, what was really fun is that I read this series all at once. Like, I didn't really take a break. I kind of just read. So it was great to reread, to read this series at once, because I didn't have to wait for books to come out like I am for, what is that called? The Blood and Ash series, because the book is coming out in March, and for Flesh and Fire series, because also coming out sometime in fall. So, yeah. Anywho, I think that, again, this book was really good. Something that I did not mention in my last review is that I did feel like there were certain things that could be explained better in the first book, that I felt like this definitely explained that this book kind of clarified, specifically in the world, and there was also like a weird romance thing that was happening that I just didn't feel very much, but this book kind of made it a little bit more interesting. So the last book for that reason did get 4 stars, but this book got 5. So yeah, there were also other things I did not mention because I didn't want to give spoilers, but I might mention here. But they're not going to be like spoilers. It's just things that I think if you read the book you'll notice, but I'm not going to spoil all of it and how that works. But yeah. Anyway, so again, writing and pacing amazing. I did enjoy it a lot. One of the things that gets developed here is the relationship between Cal and Ori. We find out in the first book that there's this thing that the Zildrathi have called the Pole, which I think of it kind of like the mating bond in Sarah J. Maas's books, because basically it literally just like, it's not something you can fully control. It just like happens. You just bonded to this person. And Cal bonded to Ori, which apparently is quite rare for a Zildrathi to have a pull toward toward someone from Terra or Earth. So that's something interesting. And in the last book, Ori did ask if, because he didn't want to force her into a relationship she may not want. So he, she asked if maybe she could get to know him because he was avoiding her, while also calling her Beshmai, which, by the way, is such a beautiful word, and it just basically means, he said there was no translation, but the closest translation to a human language would be, or to Terran, would be beloved, which I thought was so cute and adorable. It's very adorable. So yes, he calls her Beshmai. So even before anything happens, he did call her Beshmai, and she didn't know what it meant, but it just happened. And it was kind of interesting because in the beginning of Aurora Rising, it felt like Ori was having a crush on Tyler, who she constantly kept calling Captain Hotness. And I was just like, oh god, that is such a Hollywood version of teenager. And I just was like, I'm uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable, but no why. But yeah, she kept calling him Captain Hotness, but it seemed like she was gonna get a crush on Tyler, but then the whole thing happened, and so yeah. Anyway, in the last book, Ori did ask to get to know him. Oh, turns out I am spoiling more than I thought I would be. Oh well. Yeah. Anyway, to get to know him, and because he was avoiding her, and because he told her, and he's like, I don't want to force her into anything, that type of thing, and that she may not be ready for. And she's like, she thanked him or whatever, and she's like, if she asked if she could get to know him, and yeah, they agreed. So their relationship does build up a little bit in this book, and it also leads to some very interesting things, which I do not want to spoil because they are very, very interesting. So those are developed, and other things we find out more about some backstories. I mean, we already know about Scarlett and Tyler, and the way their dad, and what happened with their dad. We found out about that. But we find out about Zila's backstory, and oh my god, Zila! Oh, my poor baby. She deserves the happiest ending, and I'm so glad that in the 3rd book things happen, and I love her. It was so sad because she also, because of what happened to her as a child, she did feel guilt because she did not, wasn't, because of her inaction, things happened. But Zila was 6, and Zila was so adorable and a cute baby. Oh my gosh, no. Like, no, Zila was just beautiful, a beautiful baby. Like, oh, I'm actually so happy she ended up with the squad because at least for me, I love her and this squad loves her and I can say I love her so much and I would love her as my friend. Like, I would be so into her. She's amazing and so great. But we did find out how Scarlet feels about the whole thing with her dad, specifically the way that they usually talk about him and stuff like that. Um, so we found out about that again after some very interesting things that happened. And I found it very interesting. Another thing that we learned, yes, about Cal's long lost sister, but also about how bad things were for Cal growing up. I mean, we got hints of it based on his issues with anger. We got like we got some things, but it was like we didn't get a complete full on, we didn't get a full on like understanding, I guess, of everything. We kind of got a part of it, it was not fully explained, but I did think that the hints we got were kind of interesting. And we find out who he is and the reasons he hid who he was. It makes sense, and you can understand why it did. It did cause some issues with the squad, especially with him and Ori, but I was actually really really sad with the way some of them did react, but it was definitely understandable as well. So yeah, I understand it, even if some of it I cannot agree with all the time. But I understand it, especially the thing with Scarlet. Um, it makes sense. Also, in case it wasn't quite clear, the Finian's crush on Scarlet definitely grows from the first book to this one. um, but yeah, it was interesting to find out these other different backstories, and finding out about Sadie, who is basically who is Cal's sister. Was really interesting when they find out. I love this scene because it's like he warns Tyler not to get close to Sadie, and he doesn't get to explain why, and it's everyone's like, who is she? It's and everyone, and it's like, is she like an evil ex-girlfriend? And he's like, no. And it's like, and they look at Ori and Scarlet looks at Ori when she says it, but she's like, evil current girlfriend? And he's like, worse, that's my sister. And I'm like, wow, like that's how you knew they had a bad relationship as kids. But yeah, we even got to meet his dad by the end. But yeah, overall it was good. I just wanted to fangirl a little bit this time. I thought I wouldn't spoil, but I don't have a script for these videos, so yeah. Anyway, lovely, exciting. So let me know your thoughts on Aurora burning. Oh, another thing, Ori goes on her training, and I thought her training was very interesting. Specifically, the things we find out about the war. I like the things we find out about the ancient peoples, which are the Eshfaren and the Raham. I thought it was very interesting how the war stuff started out, and what happened, and how the Eshfaren decided to finish things. I thought it was very interesting. It was kind of exciting. So yeah, it was an interesting book to read, exciting, and very exciting, yeah. So I will see you in my next video for a review on Aurora's End. Definitely enjoy this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Aurora burning, and I'll see you then. And I'll see you next time. Until then, consume stories. Bye.